Hey folks, Justin from Tackle Tactics. You may have caught our last video where my dad was really keen to get out and catch himself a bream on the 2.5 inch ZMan prawns. He ended up getting himself a 40 centimetre tipper, so a cracker bream. He was super stoked, and so his next request was, can we take the little prawns, get out there and catch him a flathead? So that's what this video is all about. A quick session catching the end of the run out tide to see if we can get running onto a flathead on the ZMan 2.5 inch prawns. Fish on. Oh, yep. Little fella to kick off.
Good, mate.
That's on the prawns. Prawns on a 1/4 ounce 1.0 TT DemonZ. So just, you on too, mate?
Yeah.
Just shows the versatility of this plastic, you know. We had that little session the other morning on the high tide on the flats on the 1/8 heads. Dad and I each got an absolute cracker bream. Now we've got a double hook up on the probably the flatties, I'd say. You on a flatfish too, Ronnie?
Yeah, he's a bit better than
Oh, he's a little bit better than mine, isn't he? Come on, buddy. He's using that flow. We got him. Good work, mate. He scoffed that prawn.
Didn't he?
Holy dooly.
he didn't mess around with it.
Might just have to give us a little bit of line there. Might be retiring this leader, I think, folks. She's got that right down the gob. Well, how's that? That shows the versatility of this little prawns. We had a session on the flats fishing 1/8 ounce heads, 2.5 inch ZMan prawns, and landed ourselves a stonker bream each, Ronnie. A 38 and a 40 tipper. They were good fish, eh?
Yeah, they were, and that's not bad either.
And now we're about 6 casts in, and we've got a double up on flatties on that 2.5 inch prawns, 1/4 ounce 1.0 DemonZ head. So righto, this one's fish tacos, and we'll get that plastic tidied up. I'll just check that leader and we'll get into another. Well, there you go, folks. That was a great start to the session. A double hook up on the flatties fishing a weed edge. So as I was saying, we had a great little session catching some bream and got a couple of big ones fishing the same plastic on a 1/8 ounce in a 1.0 headlocks finesse UV. Now we're on the DemonZ heads in a 1/4 ounce because we've got a bit more flow and we're fishing a deeper edge, and straight away a double hook up on flatty. So the versatility of this prawn, everything eats a prawn. It looks real. You can pretty much, I don't know if I've found a wrong way to retrieve it yet. They seem to eat it all different retrieves as well. So we're basically spot locking on the electric. You could just drift with the tide back down this way if you wanted to, and we're basically placing our cast up current, casting ahead of us on the drift here so that the lure's coming back with the current. So we're on spot lock on the electric, cast up current, bounce it back naturally with the flow. If you didn't have an electric that you could spot lock on, you could go up the other end of this drain here and you could drift it and flick to the edges. We're basically just giving our plastic time to get to the bottom, give it a few hops off the bottom, pause again, let it get back to the bottom, back where those flatties are. Nice work, Dad. We might keep rolling, eh?
Well done.
So basically we're fishing to a weed edge. The weed comes out about a couple of meters out into the water there. So we're punching a cast up onto the edge of the weed. Because it's shallower on the edge, your plastic will get to the bottom quickly, and you can see slack line them on the bottom there. A couple of hops. As I bring it out further and it gets deeper, I've got to give it a little bit more time to get down onto the bottom. You want it down there bumping the bottom because that's where the flatties are waiting in ambush. So just don't be in too much of a hurry to retrieve that plastic. Give it time to get down there and bump along the bottom and find those fish. The other way to keep in touch with it might be to wind the slack up, Dad, like wind the wind blow out of it, and then you'll see the plastic hit the bottom. Yep, that's what I did then. Yeah.
I just had a tap. you got on.
Yeah.
I had a tap almost the same time.
So what I was saying to Dad then with the winding, we've got a bit of breeze blowing across us. So I was punching the cast up And as I'm giving it a few twitches, then I'm winding the slack and the bow out of the line and watching it bump the bottom. Twitch again, wind the slack out of the line, like keeping in touch with the plastic and winding that wind out of the line so that I could feel that bite. Felt the bite set the hook, so just staying in better control of the plastic. He's only a little tacker, beautiful little fish. We'll send him back. See you, buddy. There you go, a little prawn, chewed again. So just going to stay in touch with that plastic a bit more. Like, you still want it on the bottom, but I'm basically, Dad, I'm chucking that up there, and you see it hit the bottom the first time, then I'm giving it a few rips and just wind slow, and I can see it hit the bottom again, and I'm still in touch with it. I'm just winding slow to keep the wind out, and I can see when it touches down. Yep. Oh, might have been got him that time. Oh, it's his little mate. I'll keep all the little ones out of your way, Dad. Oh. Settle down, buddy. Jeez, he's fired up. Came in a bit green, didn't you? Come on, I'm going to put you back in again, mate. Righto, there you go. Well, that was pretty good. That was another double hookup. I missed that one on the camera. Ronnie's was an undersized one, and I've got this bloke here who's about 45. So that's a pretty good little session already on the prawns. So the other day, Dad doesn't fish the prawns much, so the other day we got a couple of nice bream each. Out today, and we're into the flatties, and we've already got 2 that we're going to have in the box to take for a feed, and then we've got a bunch of little ones that we've let go. So I'll get that fish off. Remember, when you're handling your flatties, 2 spikes there on each side of the head, and a spike on top of the head as well. So that's a nice 45 centimetre good pan size fish. As they get up towards 60 centimetre, I generally let them go, as they're the larger female fish, and we normally just keep a couple for a feed. So I'll put him in the box. Spoonbill in there. A lot of bait just there too.
Hang on there, I'd say, mate.
Yeah, a bit of bait there. This is the really good spot here, is all that broken weed. Always get a couple of fish through there. Yep, fish there. Yep. Only a little tacker. Catching the little fellas today, that's for sure. Good healthy system. Another little dusky. 2.5 inch prawns. See you, buddy. Get rid of him. Yep, right up on that weed. Fair bit of bait came out of there too. That one feels alright. Yep, just flicking that prawns up into the weed, shallow bank. Right up on the weed that was. A lot of bait up in there. Here he is. He's not too bad, that one, Dad. He swallowed it, so I'll just be gentle on him. Beautiful fish. 2.5 inch prawns inhaled up on the weed. Beautiful. There we go. Solid little fish has scoffed that prawn. That prawn is gone. Righto, another flatty on the prawns. So we've caught a bunch of fish, few legal ones and a stack of small fellas, but they're definitely inhaling that 2.5 inch prawns on a 1/4 ounce 1/0. So flicking it up onto the weed edge and hopping it back out into deeper water. That's a long way down, that one. We'll get a grip on him and get that lure out. That's not a fight game there.
Pick him all the way up to the... just there.
There you go, look where that prawn is. That prawn is right there inside that bloke. Hooked him just in the roof of the mouth. Another nice pan sized fish. Blood oil colour, 2.5 inch prawns. 1/4 ounce 10 TT Demons in green, matches up beautifully. Righto, let's get another eat. Alright, so my leader was chewed up after that fish, so I've just snipped a bit of the leader off. And I'm going to just tie a locked blood knot to attach that jig head. That DemonZ Jighead's got a Gamakatsu black nickel chemically sharpened hook, so it's a beautiful sharp hook. We'll lubricate that knot before we tighten it up. And in the 1/0 size, you can see it fits nicely in that prawn. Plenty of kick of the tail, plenty of movement in that tail. Give it a few hops, kick that tail a bit, and then just give it a pause on the bottom. What do you got, Silver? Has it got a bit of weight?
Yeah.
Ronnie's flicked one up out the other side, working up the middle of the drain here. Got a bit of go. It's silver, I think. It's a Brimbo. No, it's a little Trev dad. Pocket rocket. Yeah, no wonder it's giving you a bit of stick.
Yeah.
How's that little bloke? What a ripper of a fish. There you go, mate. Catching giant trevally. He drilled that prawn. Right, I see you, buddy. Yeah, that's what's giving you a bit of grief, eh? I'll sneak us along a bit further here. That looks amazing. The water's coming across these weed beds here. So we're going to get our cast right up into that weed edge. The water's pretty dirty today. We've had a bit of rain and we've also got that lower tide. So we're running a couple of the oil family colours. Dad's running the dirty oil, which is the motor oil with the black fleck through it. And I've got the blood oil, which is the bloodworm fleck crossed with the motor oil plastic. So both effective UV options so the fish can see it in this dirty water. I reckon we should get a couple out of here. Look at all that bait in there. Whew, crazy. Some bait in there. Yep. That just hit the bottom and I felt that tap. Oh, Flatty lost him. Got into him a bit too aggressively. He was on too because he's chewed up my leader a little bit. Yeah, I got into him a bit too aggressively and pulled the hook out of him. Oh, yep, there we go. Right on that edge. Oh, there we go, folks. That was a solid take. So you can see here, we're right on a weed edge here. We're actually just using the wind now to push us along this edge. So we've got a really nice slow drift, which is allowing us plenty of time. Guy feels silver, Dad. It's one of your mates. No wonder he gave me a bit of stick when he hit it. Gee, these giant trevally are giving us a bit of grief. He's pretty giant, that fella. Beautiful fish. What a magic fish. Didn't feel like a flat fish, but we're just using the wind to push us along this weed edge. And we're kind of spraying our casts around between out here and right in on the edge and just covering plenty of water. Flathead will be sitting everywhere from right there on the edge of the weed out to sort of in the middle of the drain here. So worth spraying your casts around a bit as you slowly drift along with that wind. Just using that 2.5 inch prawns on the bottom on a 1/4 ounce 1/0. So a few hops, watch that line. You'll see the line go slack when it's on the bottom. Give it a few more hops and we're just hopping it back, hopefully getting ourselves a bite on the way back to the boat, and then we'll recast and we'll just keep fanning those casts, covering the area as we drift along. End of the run out, start of the run in, prime time for fishing edges like this one here. They go hard, those little blokes. And I guess we know that from the big ones. Those big ones take some landing, eh? Oh, I know that one I got in the surf that time. I went about a kilometre down the beach before I got him in. That big fella. Oh, there's a tap. Oh, his mate. No, this one's a Brimbo. Right, on drilled it on the paws. He's not a bad size Brimbo. Good fun size fish. A handful of bream. There you go. The versatility of the prawn. Little GT, bream, flatties, all sorts of things. So great little plastic. You can see why edges like this fish really well. Check out that flat there. That's a massive weed flat. Depressions and structure and all sorts of things up on that flat. Fish are up there feeding on the high tide. When that tide goes out, they've got to go somewhere, and this is where they come. They come off these edges and they hold on these edges, and the predatory species just wait for all that last minute for all that bait to push off there. So they're all holding and working and using this edge to cruise along to feed on the stuff that's come off that flat. We know we're giving the area good coverage. Oh, was that a fish or bottom? It was a fish. It came back. Had a rattle, didn't connect, came back. Doesn't feel like the right sort of bloke though. Another one of your little mates. GT's stirring up that bait. They'd just be powering along this edge, smashing up all the bait, those guys. Come over there for a sneaky look as well.
Right on the spot there, right on the edge. I've probably got a bit of weed on mine, I'd say.
Yep. Yep.
Ready?
Not 100% on that one. Brimbo, was it? Oh, a little flatty, yeah, you got better eyes than me. You got better eyes than I have. He's away, that's a good release. I like those ones. Don't get spiked.
You got right on the dot there, right on the edge of that weed.
He was sitting there too.
I like something.
Yep. Yep.
You going again?
Yep.
Not on it. Is it bigger?
No. It's silver, huh?
Oh.
Oh, there's some activity on this edge. Where's the flatfish though?
Yeah.
Well, the decent flatfish, not the little flatfish. Brimbo up on that edge. Plenty of fish hunting along that edge. See you, buddy. Plenty of bait along here. Oh, there's a tap. Yep, yep. On the paws again, it was a beautiful tap. I love it like that when it does that. Oh, he's a bit bigger than I thought. He's in the net. We're okay. He's in the net.
He had another 100 mil.
Yeah, yeah, he's a bit better than I thought. I thought I was going to swing him over, and then his tail locked up on the edge.
I thought you did that because I thought it's not possible.
Oh. There you go, folks. When you're fishing into sun like that, make sure you gauge how big your flatty is before you pole him in, because he was a bit longer than I thought when I tried to get him over the side. He's not a bad fish. He's another sort of mid-40s, maybe a little bit bigger. Beautiful dusky flathead where we're getting a few off the edge. We're just chipping our way along. We're now, the wind's dropped off and we're just using that tide to push us along. So good times. Yep, yep. Yep, out wide that time, Dad, but it could be one of a random silver dude, I think. Oh. It's actually feeling brown. How's that? Right out in the middle. I'll throw that one. cranky. He's a bit cranky. No, he's okay. I've got him braced in here now. Beautiful little rod and reel, this thing. It's probably my favourite, eh? Red belly 2-piece rod, TT. Ceymar HD spin reel, just fishing light.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice one, eh? Just fishing light with 6-pound braid. Oh no, we're on the 2500. 8-pound braid. 8-pound braid, 10-pound leader. That's another nice flatty in the boat. So we've had a great little session flicking this prawns around. These guys are eating it well. That's on a 1/4 10, so nice weight to get it down there. We're just letting that sink to the bottom and hopping it up off the bottom. 10-pound leader, 8-pound braid, 2500 Ceymar HD. TT red belly 2 to 4 kilo, 7-footer. In a 2-piece so that I can take it on adventures with me. Righto, let's get this guy back as well. See there where there's all those basins and stuff? Yep, there we go. Oh. I actually just dropped the rod tip to have a gas bag to you, and it just drilled it as it sank. Oh yeah, they love that prawns.
What have you got?
Could be a bit trevally-ish, so don't get too excited.
Okay.
You might not be a giant. Grunter. Well, we haven't had a grunter yet, so that mixes it up a bit. Might be a patch of them on that weed over there, Dad. There we go, a little grunter. So that's our, what's that, 4 species now on the prawn. 4 species this afternoon on the prawn. Flathead, bream, grunter, GT. So everything eats a prawn.
Oh!
We just ran over a school of gar. Righto, I'll get out of your way. That's on it, that's on it. Straight on, mate.
It had it before I took up the slack.
Ate it on the drop, eh? Flatfish?
No, I think it's still.
Bit of activity over there. School of Brimbos, eh?
Yeah.